2000.
So Brandon Bowes
yeah.
is my brother-in-law.
Oh, okay.
So Steven graduated with Brandon. Ryan graduated a year behind us.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Ryan graduated with like Chad Weiser and I think a lot of that crew, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Man, a lot.
Your
Your
younger brother was a pretty good ball player from what I remember, basketball.
Ryan was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played on that team that made a pretty good run into
deep
the
state run,
deep
right?
state run,
Yeah.
Remember that? That was
With
fun to watch. Wesley Morgan.
Yep.
One of my favorite Wesley stories is
That's
after he was
like
at
the 7-footer.
7'2", yeah, I think 7'2", but
Okay.
when he was at Mississippi State, you know, after he graduated there for a season, he was a sales rep for the indoor skydiving facilities that you see in like Gatlinburg and stuff. And I was like, you are joking. You are joking. But like, that's what he hit. That was
7'2"
and I was like,
guy.
Just like, do you go in there and you just like, come on out to Houston. Let me demo this thing. Let me show you how this works.
Yeah.
But I was like, what in the world?
That's funny, man. I didn't know that. I remembered him going to Mississippi State and how good that basketball team was.
They were pretty good.
It was our girls' team that won state, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was like Kendra Ramsey and like.
Yep.
Or was Greta on the team then? Were we juniors or seniors?
I think we were juniors.
Juniors. So it would have been Greta Von der Heide and like really.
Yeah, man, I need to go back and grab the
annuals.
The annuals to.
Yeah.
You graduated from Gallatin too, right?
95.
95. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're with Trudy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, Trudy's my girl.
Yeah,
Trudy,
she's great.
We just celebrated her birthday last night.
Okay.
Yeah, a bunch of us got together and ate for.
Chad thinks he's developed an allergy to Mexican food.
I don't know,
or
man.
season.
I've got like this, like it's like burning my tongue or something. We're gonna have a
just
problem.
hot peppers, man.
I don't think it's hot peppers because it was like something in the, like I had a cocktail, you know, with like a Paloma and it had like the tahini around the rim and I could feel it.
Oh, the tahini I'm new to tahini and I'm a fan.
I am too. Man, that's what I was.
Isn't it supposed to be good on pineapple too?
It's good on everything.
Fruit, and I put it on chicken and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, Hispanic people typically, like they refer to it as fruit salt.
Fruit salt.
Fruit salt. Tahini is they're like, hey, get the fruit salt.
I've not tried it on fruit, so I need to probably.
Man, it was,
pineapple.
It was good on that.
Pineapple.
It was
tahini
good on that
on
Paloma
pineapple.
last night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That's when I tried it for the first time.
This is good. This is productive already. I'm gonna get my notes here.
Yeah.
Get you some grilled pineapple.
There's
and throw some.
Couple things we like to do, and one of them is eat, and we get passionate about talking about eating.
Okay. I like it.
We did a burger week a couple months ago.
Yep.
We went to 6 burger joints.
Oh,
we're gonna do
is
barbecue
that a podcast
next.
episode?
It is.
A rundown.
It was some short. It was shorts, Rob. We did like some basically short reviews for Instagram and did some reels associated with it. And the Nashville scene every year does Burger Week, and all the burger joints and everything does this. They come up with a special burger for the week, and you know we went and I think we did 6.
It was 6.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. I know they do. I know we have like Hot Chicken Week, which is a dedicated week. So
I'm going to be out on the hot chicken, Chad.
No, you're not.
Man,
you can't tap out. Like you
can ease into it with
I just can't
mild.
Yeah. I can't do a medium or a hot.
We may get Rob to step in for Jason. And
yeah, I could be your stunt double on hot chicken because I don't.
Okay.
I'm not going to like the top level where you got to sign a waiver. But my first experience was with Ryan, my youngest brother, and we went to Prince's before it was a big thing, and it was in 2011 or 12, and we went over to East Nashville, and we're like, we heard we're supposed to do this, and we walked in, and it was July, I think, and it was hotter inside I don't know if the air conditioning was out or whatever, hotter inside than outside.
Almost on purpose.
And there was the old kind of janky Pepsi, like from the snack bar, you put the little things on there to go, this is what we got, chicken, medium, or mild, medium, hot. And for whatever reason, I didn't see mild. And they brought medium for me and Ryan. there was the what is it? The New York Times article about them, like yellowed inside this, little, stuck it up there on a piece of glass, janky on the wall. And we're like, all right. And they brought it out to us. And, they brought it out and sat a piece of bread underneath, glowing red. When you look across a parking lot on a hot day, you see the haze, you're like, this is going to be something. And so I think they could have sold me that purity milk that they were selling in there for $20 a glass.
You'd have drank every glass. Yes.
Keep it coming.
Yeah, and it being like 90 degrees outside just makes it that much worse, right?
So I waited for a long time before Hattie B's hit.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, this is reasonable. But I heard the joke was that the princess, the wife or whatever, was like mad at the husband.
Did it on purpose.
And did it on purpose, right?
Yeah.
And soaked it in there for a month.
Purpose?
No.
No. The princess was like a domestic argument.
Yeah.
And she said, I'll show you. So she doused it in cayenne and marinated in cayenne for a week. It was like, I'm going to burn you up. And then he ate it and loved it.
He was like, it's delicious. We got to start making that. Yeah.
So that's
CJ
Genesis.
Sabia is who introduced
CJ.
me to hot chicken. This would have been like, I don't know, probably 2007 or 8, 9 maybe.
Early on.
Yeah.
You're an early adopter. I see.
Maybe 2009, something like that. CJ basically did the same thing to me, and he was like, yeah, it's not that bad. We'll get hot. And CJ at the time he was going hot. He was like, make it as...
CJ's a builder, right?
That's right. He's my neighbor. Yeah,
he's okay.
So he and Steven were close growing up.
Yeah.
My middle brother. And CJ's done terrific. He's in our neighborhood down there where we live and in Brentwood, and his signs are popping up all over, man.
They
doing
are.
These custom homes.
He's awesome.
So got to
Beautiful
start
work.
with the why and then just if you do quality work, then that begets more quality work.
Yeah,
opportunities.
He's a fun dude. Yeah. He is Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase.
Is he really?
There you go.
Yes, yes.
I can see it.
Looks like him. Acts like he's just CJ's funny, man. He's good.
Good.
He's good people.
Well, let's get started, guys. Let's get our guest introduced. Today, we have Rob Dixon with us. Thank you for joining us, Rob.
Glad to be here.
Rob is with ServPro of Belle Meade / Nashville, right?
At all. Yeah.
All of it? All the above?
Yeah. There's a few more in there, but we got limited time on the podcast.
When I think of ServPro, Rob, it's probably just because I've known you for a while, but I think of you when I think of ServPro. So you've done a great job branding yourself as a ServPro guy. I'll just say that.
Well,
Hopefully that's a compliment.
That's kind, and so I will take it. And so I see that's how we operate often because it's it's call ServPro, and then that's Rob's over there, or that's Corey and Cody's operation, or that's the Bissig operation. And so we kind of there's the ServPro big orange house, and then it's we have our own kind of groups within that, and so I appreciate that. I'm proud to be associated with it. So.
Yeah, well, you're the first one we've kind of worked with as a company, so we appreciate that in the partnership. Thank you.
Sure.
It's been great. It's trickled out. We've made some really good relationships with other franchise owners, and and a lot of times it's because we've worked with Rob, and they're like, oh well, if Rob trusts you, we'll probably trust you.
Well,
so it helps.
That's kind to say, and we're a fan of NexGen, and y'all have been great for us, helping us navigate the complex web of communications. And so, when it boils down to it, the better we communicate, the better organization we are. And if you distill down a lot of the issues that companies have, especially ServPros have, and say, man, if we could just get the communication piece figured out, we'd be just soaring. And so we're trying to make that true every day. And so we appreciate what y'all do for us.
Yeah. So Rob, you're from Gallatin. Tell us how you got started with ServPro.
Yeah.
And being in Nashville now.
So I grew up in Gallatin, and my running joke is I was kidnapped in an unmarked green van one day, and I woke up later and owned a ServPro, so I had to figure out what is a water damage and what am I supposed to do. And so But the little bit longer version is had a divinely inspired dinner one night with Andy Daniels, who I graduated from Gallatin High School with, one of my close friends. And I was working at a college in West Tennessee at the time. I always wanted to own my own business. And after having dinner with Andy Daniels and Michael Mandrell, who's with Sunbelt now, I was just like, man, this is for me. I want to learn more, and worked with just some great people to help get me started through the ServPro network.
What were you doing at that time?
So I was recruiting for Union University, where I went to college.
Okay.
And so I was overseas for a couple of years, doing some church planting, and then I moved back. And for a short stint, I was the court officer at Sumner County General Sessions Court for Robert Hunter,
Really?
who is a Judge Hunter.
Judge Hunter.
Their family friend of ours, and he said, "Hey Rob, our court officer is going to be out with knee surgery for about 3 months. Can you stand in?" So I got to be a court officer for about 3 months, which was fun. But went to work at Union during that time. Got recruited to Union, and then 2 years there, and then had that dinner with Andy towards the tail end of that in the early part of 2006, and got into pipeline. And
Andy was already at ServPro at that time, right?
His long time was at ServPro. That's right, marketing.
Great.
Yeah. And so early part of 2006, learned about that and got in that pipeline, and they helped me through. And everybody, I'll just remember fondly everybody there trying to help me through the process, because there wasn't really anybody that helped resale. So what we bought was an ongoing concern in the Belle Meade location, and I'll capitalize the word concern, because it was a concern. It was the black sheep of the area. But everybody from Karen Hudson, Richard's aunt, to Kevin Brown, who's a renowned speaker now out there on the speaker circuit, helped me navigate through the process. One of my closest friends is Brent Ford, who owns all the Subways in Gallatin. And Brent helped me navigate, here's what it's like working with a franchise. And so I just felt like I had a lot of people that just were able to help me through that process, and I felt increased my comfort level to kind of put that risk out there. And I remember going back to, I'm I got a house in Jackson. That's the only equity I've got to my name. But going to my parents and going, you may think I'm crazy, but like, I think this could work. And would you all be willing to take the rental home that they had from my grandparents when they passed? They kept the rental home over behind Guild School.
Yeah.
And I said, would y'all be willing to put that up as kind of equity in this deal and sign on as silent partners? And Dad was like, we believe in you. Let's go. And I'll never forget that, just that vote of confidence. And so next thing you know, I own a ServPro. So,
and that was what year?
2006.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's my story. And I like to think I'm a testament to the training department at ServPro, because I didn't know anything about it. And so they are phenomenal. That's why they're the top franchise, 25 years running, top franchise that you can buy in restoration. Perennial top 10 in the franchise 500. And so it's because they can take a guy like me and turn him into a subject matter expert. And so Rick Isaacson always says we're a giant customer service company that happens to do water damage restoration. So I was like, that I can do.
I can do service.
I can do service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great, man. So you're like you said, you're from Gallatin originally. Do you think that ServPro being based and planted in Gallatin had anything to do with you getting started with them?
Oh yeah.
Without you being in Gallatin, growing up here, would it have happened?
No. I think everything I don't believe in coincidence. And so
preach, brother.
Yeah, I don't believe in coincidence. So it's clear to me when I look back through the lens to go, this was all orchestrated. And so it was just on me to take those steps, right? And so from dinner with Andy, to signing on the dotted line, to going through the training, and so Gallatin is is huge in this.
And probably people you knew and felt comfortable with
100%
being there.
Talking to Karen in the legal department at HQ, and she's like, "We're going to take care of you, honey, because I play cards with your mom at the country club, and love your dad, and we're going to help you through. There's nobody else that really does this around here, so I'm going to take care of it for you." Like,
a little bit of a security blanket.
100%.
Yeah, for a young guy like yourself in 06 to start a business or to buy into a business, that had to be scary. So they had to have the right pieces to make you feel comfortable. Like you said.
And then the other part of that joke for me is whenever I put in my request for proposal, which is what you do when you buy a franchise from them, is I think that they put this in front of the Isaacsons, and they said, "Here's the current situation going on in the Belle Meade franchise, this dumpster fire over here. Yeah. Here's this 27-year-old kid that has zero knowledge of ServPro over here, but, and I think they looked at it and they were like, how much worse could it get?
You can't screw it up
Let's give this kid a shot." And, so put him in the training. And he's from Gallatin.
That's awesome.
Let's go.
Yeah.
They've raised the bar considerably. Since that event, I think that was why they raised the bar. But
entrance exams a little tougher.
Low barrier to entry at the point. At that point, no offense to my fellow franchisees out there.
But I hear that you've done a great job, and you've given ServPro franchises across the nation a look into what it could be. And when they're coming into town, I hear that maybe you host some meetings and have those in and kind of show them your new place, your remodeled place, right? And it's kind of the standard model that ServPro is trying to go after, right? Remodeling in their franchises.
Well,
is
again,
that part of it?
That's kind and generous. Thank you for that. And so I'm a brand advocate because ServPro has changed my life, and so it's an opportunity for me to pay it forward, because I look back through the lens of where was I, sitting in that training class, handshaking, going, I'm about to take on this much debt and take on this much risk. Do I really,
can I do it?
Can I really do this? Yeah. And so putting myself in the shoes of the people that I can kind of pour into and go, listen, I can help you avoid some pitfalls and some landmines, and here's a few ways that I've done that. And so they let me come speak to the graduating class. The Sullens will do that some, and I'll go do that some. They'll bring in people from different parts of the country, but go in and just share with them our experience and how can they avoid some of those pitfalls and landmines. But and then just being in Nashville, Nashville is ServPro country, right? And so being able to, I'm just down the street, so I get everything from hey, can we swing by and kind of test this out, or what do you think about that? So we're maybe we're easy to get to.
So everybody wants to come to Nashville these days. So it's not difficult for you to get other ServPro franchises to come to Nashville, or ServPro in general, right?
Right. And I kind of have an open door where when I hear people are coming through, whatever, I'm hey, come, let's talk shop, because the way that we get better is when you get a handful of ServPro folks in a room and share best practices. That's one of the reasons ServPro is one of the top franchises you can buy, and that's how they kind of rank them. Is the synergy within the network and the way that the franchisor takes care of the franchisee network. And so so that's how I've grown is best practices and encouragement from other owners that are a little bit farther down the road. It's like I like playing golf with people that are better than me, like Ryan and Steven, my brothers, because it makes me better. And so you kind of play to the level of your competition. So getting in the room and hearing how some of these bigger operators, these multi-market operators are operating, and a lot of them are forward thinking. I'm close with Jeff Cuthbertson, who has Chattanooga and Knoxville and several locations in Orlando now. And so we share openly just about what's working, what's not. And that we would both say that's helped us out tremendously. So it's just a benefit. And I love pouring into that because I get back more than I give. So.
Absolutely. You mentioned your brothers. Are your brothers in the business too?
So Ryan is. Ryan helps on our construction side. So we do both the mitigation, so the cleanup, and then we do the rebuild, the reconstruction. And so to truly make it like it never even happened, we're a turnkey operator. And so Ryan's focus is on the repair side. And so he's a great communicator. The customers love him. And so being able to help take something, when you're handed a bag of lemons and he can help them make some lemonade to say, well, what color is this room going to be? Do you want to, try a different flooring type? How about some cabinetry over here? And people soon forget about, well, this place is, still drying from a flood.
Now they're excited about the remodel, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people might not know that ServPro goes to those links, right? When there's restoration damage on a property, is you guys will actually take in the furniture, everything, like restore it, clean it, right? Hold on to it for a certain period of time and actually fully remodel the place as well. Right.
Sometimes
I think a lot of people from the outside think you just get rid of the water, and then you're done.
Yeah.
Right.
We try to be that full service. It just depends upon what the customer needs, but so that's the tagline, like it never even happened, and that's our goal. And so we can handle that if that's part of the scope of work. The restoration of your contents, oftentimes that's going to be like a rug. So gravity works against you in water damage, right? And so rugs that get damaged from the water, furniture that gets damaged from the water. So as part of a white glove experience, we would, help take care of that if we need to move it to our facility to store while everything's being restored. Sometimes move it, to a different place in the house while it's being restored. Yeah. So we're trying to make it livable for the occupants during that time. 9 times out of 10, they're there. Sometimes they have to move out. But so that's part of the process.
Restoration, when I think about it and what you guys do, it's got to be one of the top job security professions out there, right?
Yes, stuff happens.
In 2024, right? I mean, natural disasters happening more often, right?
That's right.
It's not just natural; it's mistakes.
The majority of what we deal with is man-made.
Yeah,
and so
is it really?
It is.
Yeah.
And so just aging infrastructure of buildings, just mishaps,
refrigerator line
human error, and just life happening, right? And so the joys of home ownership is what we say, or property ownership. And so, the restoration industry continues to grow. We're niche, right? It's growing considerably, but the niche that we carve is we save time and we save money versus the alternative of kind of the how it evolved or how it grew was the old mentality back in the, up until maybe the 80s. Like ServPro created the industry that we now enjoy kind of leading. Yeah. And so that the old mentality was, well, let's get a contractor, come in here and tear everything out that's wet. Let me see, this feels dry. Let's build it back. But we put a framework around it and said we can create this niche, which is we can save time if we can come in and restore what's restorable. To go, we don't have to tear out all this drywall. This is clean water. We can dry it and we can put this baseboard back, and we can do that in 2 weeks instead of a contractor coming in and let's just tear it all out and put it all back, and we're looking at 2 months. And then you can extrapolate that out over other damages that we do from fire and mold and things like that. And so, because it can get significant in a timeline. Now, not to say that everything is really short durations. It's shorter in our view than a contractor would do, typical contractor would do. And so that's the niche. And so if we can do that, then we create happy homeowners, property owners, because they can get back to normal sooner. We also create happy insurance clients because they're like, okay, we close this file faster, right? We save money, and so there's value in this for us as an insurance provider to our customers, because the customer's happy, because we're all about, like I said, when we first started, we're a giant customer service company that happens to do water damage restoration. So if we can create a happy customer that's given a bag of lemons, right, and say, and we can help them make some lemonade out of it and say, okay, I hate that this happened, but I'm glad I called ServPro because now my place looks better than it did before. And, So that's the goal, right? Create raving fans, happy customers that are advocates for us. We think we've done a pretty good job of that. ServPro enjoys a net promoter score that's on par with Southwest Airlines and Apple Computers and the others that are in the 70s, low 80s, from a net promoter score. And that's not by accident. Yeah. It's not by accident. And so we have a network of about 800 owners across the U.S. and Canada that cover about 2,500 franchise locations. People like me that care about what they're doing. That their reputation is, they are, they back I am ServPro, and my reputation is, part of that. And so we want to do good work. And so I think that when you do that over time, repeatedly, then that's what builds a great brand and builds a good culture around the brand. So,
where do you think restoration is headed? You guys have a lot of talks internally at ServPro about technology and things to come with restoration.
I think we will continue to see it grow, and as we continue to provide value to property owners, insurance clients, and so I think that we've seen the market, back in 18 or 19. If you look at it from a 10,000 foot view, it was a $100 billion annual market for insurance or property restoration, and the latest metrics show it's now $125 billion annual market. So it's grown significantly even in 5 years. Just what's happening in that space, and so we're continuing to try to lead the conversation in restoration. And so there's a lot of runway for ServPro to grow within that space. And so, but I think that that restoration will continue to grow because of those value propositions I shared of saving time, saving money, because disasters are going to continue to happen. I think that we will also see technology improve systems and processes within just like every industry. And so my plan is for that to result in even shorter amounts of time for our customer, reduce friction in the process for my team, making it easier for them to communicate and document the process and get information to the insurance and the homeowners, and then shorten the overall duration of the job, which creates happy customers, but it's also creates better profitability for us, and happy customers, better experience creates repeat customers. And so that's what everybody's after, right? Is raving fans that are repeat customers. Well, my property owners hope they're not repeat customers, but we have a lot of repeat customers that are commercial customers, and that just they manage a lot of properties.
Or somebody that they know. Right,
right. They're out there. Oh, you should call Rob because he'll take care of you.
They'll take good care of you.
What's your percentage of residential versus commercial?
We're about 50-50.
Are you really?
So our location is in Midtown. We're about a mile from the Central Business District downtown, and that was strategic. So we've been able to grow that considerably since we moved in there more than a decade ago. We bought that building before Nashville lost its mind in real estate. So
you got in.
So you're out there smiling on that real estate.
Got in good on the basis, but that area's growing up. It's super convenient. We can be downtown in 5 minutes. We can be on the interstate in 3 minutes. If we're going out to Bellevue, if we're going to, Forest Hills, whatever. So,
what is your territory lines that you have?
Yeah, ServPro does a good job of that, so that we don't confuse our customers, and so. A lot of the people we call on are insurance people, so you don't need 12 different ServPros calling on a State Farm agent, right? Because they'll say, well, let me solve this for you real quick, but I just won't call any ServPro, right? Yeah. So we don't go to Hendersonville. That's Corey and Cody Sullins, right? And they don't send people to, Bellevue. And so our territory, if you look at Nashville like a pizza, Davidson County, that's where our 4 territories are. Belle Meade, West Nashville is the southwest slice. ServPro of North Nashville is the northwest slice. Smaller slice is ServPro of Hermitage Donaldson. And then if you look at downtown inside the loop, like a Trivial Pursuit
Yeah,
piece.
That's
the
like
wedges.
That's like the
one
old
of my
thing that
one
used
of
to
my
sit on the
wedges.
Pizza Hut.
That's right. One of my wedges is downtown Nashville, and I share that with a couple other operators. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's meant to help good fences make good neighbors.
Yeah.
Have some collaboration amongst each other when we're if we need to partner together on things, and then make sure we don't confuse our customers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think over the years I've seen ServPro, have they cut down on the amount of owners and given more territory? That's kind of the trend that I've seen, right?
That's right. That's pretty accurate.
Okay.
So we there's a kind of a movement within the ServPro space where ServPro owners are buying territories in other places. Some of them are adjoining to what they have. Other people, are buying, across the state or even 2 or 3 states away, and so they're centralizing their services in one area, but they maybe have franchise locations in 2 or 3 other markets. So that's called a multi-market operator. I'm what's called a multi-unit operator. So I have 4 locations in one area. And so I like to sleep in my own bed at night.
Yeah.
And so I love those multi-market operators, and they have good systems and processes and good people in all those markets. So they sleep in their own beds as well. But that's part of the future of ServPro is more and more consolidation, if that's the word. And so it makes a lot of sense. And I think we'll see more of that. And what I think that's doing is that's resulting in the quality of our operation going up, because those folks that are doing that care about what they're doing. They see the runway ahead of us at ServPro, and they can centralize those services and streamline their operations and provide great service in those different markets or in my different units within Nashville. And grow and expand in that way.
Yeah. Richard Hudson, who is a good friend of mine, he works for one of those multi-state operators, right?
Yeah, one of the biggest.
And you mentioned travel. I know he's always on the road, and he's going to these natural disaster sites, right? Trying to help those ServPro franchises at those locations. But to your point, he's gone a lot, right? So I get what you're saying, sleeping in your own bed. But there's, they have a purpose, right? And Absolutely. I think, from what I'm seeing, those type of franchises, even them, they're growing, they're expanding, they're adding new states. So, which I got to think also brings other competition to the fold, being that the restoration industry is growing, right? Competitors to ServPro, I'm sure, are popping up left and right too. But when I see you guys' brand, I feel like you're in a great spot to be known and recognized and to grow the right way. So. You guys are doing everything the right way.
We like to think so. And so there's a lot of components that go into that, but I think it comes down to you've got a network of 800 owners that care about what they're doing, and they find the Richard Hudsons that care about what they're doing, and they work together to take care of customers. And if it's not rocket science, If you can create a great customer experience, then you create a fan that can be an advocate, and then it spreads. We just happen to have 2,500 locations, and we've been doing this for a while, since 1967. So there's some what do you call it? Some tailwind behind us, giving us some momentum there, and so we just need to keep doing what we're doing. And taking care of our customers.
Just take care of folks.
Take care of folks.
Like it goes in every industry. I don't care what industry you're in. If you just take care of folks.
I mean, y'all are doing it. You just come in and go. When I first talked to you, I was like, I got this issue. Can you help with that? And you were like, well, that's exactly what we do.
Yeah.
And then I said, well, I also have this issue. I also have this. Sure. How do I take care of you?
That is, I would say that when we get a client that, once we get there in a relationship where somebody will be like, hey, can you do this? Do you guys do this?
Oh, by the way.
Would you be interested in doing this? That's when we've done our job, I think. Like when you can start doing more than one thing for somebody. Yeah. Or you get recommended from somebody. Hey, have you talked to those guys this is what they did for me. You know,
Yeah.
that's when you win. Well, really, it's when everybody wins. It's when you as a company win. It's when the client wins because you're doing more. They have to source it from less places. So,
yeah, we call it. We've adopted it from Office Max. We want to be the easy button.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so, just hit the easy button, call ServPro, and they're gonna fix it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'll never forget. Rob contacted me about probably 6 months into starting NexGen. He's like, "Hey, I got these few problems. You mind sitting down and talking about it?" We met at a coffee shop, and it was, really communication problems and issues he was trying to fix as a whole, his voice. And I think very highly of Rob in trusting us and being able to help him. So that meant a lot early on with us getting started. So
yeah, it kind of lets you pave your path too.
Yeah. And that goes back to Rob's character, who he is, trying to help people get started, even at ServPro, right? The new franchise owners, it's just who he is. So it's ingrained in Rob. It is Rob Dixon, I would say. So restoration-wise, first 24 hours, most important time to what are you doing, like water
restoration or homicide?
Restoration, yeah. Is what in your industry is the first 24 hours, assuming that's the most important time, right?
Yeah, fast action reduces overall time. And so the faster we can get there and either get the water up or get there and get some of the property addressed, if it's a smoke odor, smoke and soot, we can save and restore things that we might not otherwise be able to do if it's 72 hours in. And so, time is short when you're, especially with water damage. And so we get there fast. Our standards are 148. And so 1 hour, we've communicated and we've got a plan together with the customer, but within 4 hours we're on site, and within 8 hours we've communicated with the stakeholders involved, property owner, insurance, whatever. Here's what's going on. Here's the plan. Here's how we want to move forward. So the faster the response, typically the shorter the timeline, and oftentimes the reduction in costs overall. So
I bet Rob could. This is probably we're not going to share this, but I bet Rob is one of those folks that could tell you what insurance companies that would be the ones you don't want to go with. Let me pick his brain off camera.
Yeah, we can do an offline. Yeah,
we'll do it offline.
Yeah, there's definitely some.
Who should you not have your homeowner's insurance?
Yeah, because I would imagine your top referral partner, people you're working with day to day, is insurance companies.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I want to ask the body shop guy, like,
that's right.
Okay, who do you not want car insurance with? Who do you not want? Rob's the guy for the homeowners.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy for us, and it's the 10,000-foot view is we're trying to take care of customers. We like working with insurance carriers that adopt the same philosophy.
They want to do the same thing.
Because they see Jason Baxter, you know what? Yeah, he's had this water damage right now, but like he's gonna be with us for another 50 years.
That's right.
And so we got this blip, but let's take care of him right now versus let's really cause him a lot of stress and friction and frustration trying to nickel and dime our way to savings versus let's just pay this and get him taken care of so he can get back to normal.
Yeah.
And so we like working with those folks.
That's a good point. You don't work with a referral partner long term that doesn't have the same values as you as a company, right? Culture's got to align, values got to align. You got to have the same love for the customer experience.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's key.
Well, I think the market is also, that's what the next generation of property and homeowner want. They want not only value, but they want authenticity and transparency in the process. And so I think that if there's carriers that are out there that are not providing that value in that way, then, I think the market will correct a lot of that. And so, well, we have a list of, who our favorites are and then who are not so favorites.
When you get the call, you're like, oh.
Yes.
Yeah,
I know you deal with home buyers, business owners, like you said, property managers, all of it. There's a new generation coming into fold, right, with homeowners these days, right? Younger folks, younger generation than us. Do you find as though, are you guys seeing that they're wanting to be communicated with differently than our generation? Is that something your company's working on and challenged to do differently, like with text messaging, communication
that's
that
stuff
way?
that we've talked about, but that's what we're seeing, and we want to adopt and adapt those strategies. But I read an article, and I read the book. It was about Jeff Bezos. He's the king of customer friction reduction, right?
Yeah.
Which is basically the title of the book should have been "Shut Up and Take My Money," right?
Yep.
That's Amazon. When's the last time you've ever talked to anybody at Amazon? Never.
You don't.
You self-navigate the process. It's virtually frictionless, and that's why they are what they are, and that's why all of our collective garages are full of cardboard boxes.
That's right.
And so we're trying to reduce the friction in the process for our customers. And so one of the ways we do that is communication. And so I see text. I mean, you showed me some statistics on just the response rate on text versus phone calls versus emails, et cetera. So we're trying to move more of our business to text. Internally, we've moved over to Teams, which has been a great move for us. I know we've talked some about that as well. But the customer experience, I feel like more and more will move to text, and I think that will improve the experience, reduce the overall duration of the job because we can hear back from people faster. And so we're excited about that. We're still working through some of the challenges, and getting that done. But it works for us on everything from initial communications to collections to, you name it. And so
I could see as AI gets better, which it is slowly, I could see AI being a huge part of your business model, ServPro as a whole. You could cut down human text interaction probably, 50, 60%, right?
Yeah.
When the AI model learns how to respond to potential clients, right?
Yeah, especially I think where AI helps is common questions, common answers.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, if you have a 20-year-old texting in, hey, we have water damage. When can you get here?
Yes.
Right? You could have AI speak to them, right? Actually create an appointment based on calendar availability, right? All that stuff. And
we have the following available.
I think that's coming sooner than later.
I think it is too.
I could see that being a huge part of what you guys do in the future, for sure.
Rob mentions the text piece. Jason and I have this conversation when we're talking to a new client. We'll talk back and forth and be like, hey, have you talked to them yet? And it'll be, I have emailed, called, and sent a text. We'll find out how they communicate. And that's what they do. That's what you find out about somebody. Like if you call them and they don't call back, you send an email and they haven't responded to the email.
Yeah.
Then you shoot them a text and they respond. You're like, oh, they're a texter.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of it, when we start building a new relationship. If I met Rob just for the first time, ask Rob.
Yeah. What do you prefer?
How do you prefer to communicate?
Yeah.
Right.
We do that on the first phone call. What's your preferred method? Because so many of our people, they're moving fast as well, and so we want to be able to do that to reduce friction in there to, kind of meet them where they are. And so if we can get better responsiveness from them, then that helps us take care of them better and faster.
Another part of that easy button.
Chad's going to be like, if you got to text me twice, just call me.
Yes. It's the back. Jason does this on purpose, Rob. It's Teams more than a text. He's a really good texter.
Rob knows all about Teams. He does.
Yeah.
I'm sure Rob probably
does not do it. Rob's not.
Let's see if Rob does this.
Jason will send you. Let me think of how he would put it. It could be something random, right?
Okay.
It could be, hey, do you want to meet for coffee later? That's one. Before you have a chance to respond, like in the same minute, he'll say, at coffee shop A, enter. He will text me like 4 times. And we could go here, enter. But have you talked to Joe? Enter. Have you? The weather's really nice. Enter. I'm like, Jason, make one paragraph.
Yeah, that's the way my mind works sometimes.
Jason is an enter before, like it's like when he presses the enter button.
I haven't thought about everything I'm going to say yet.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
It's like if I wish he would Teams message me while he's pooping. Maybe he would have more time to. Maybe he would have more time to like think about it and. Yeah.
How do you know that's not when I'm doing it?
Process his thoughts while he's processing other things.
Yeah. Well, I think that you're not, because if you were, it would be like, this is what I'm thinking about. I need to communicate with you.
You'll never know.
I know.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, Rob, tips for homeowners, business owners. You got any that you can share with the audience? Maybe to prevent water damage, some of the things you guys see day to day.
Sure. Well, apropos, September is National Emergency Preparedness Month.
Okay.
So I'm just realizing that here. So good timing on the podcast. But so we preach preparedness, and so we do that in some different ways. But one of the main ways with our commercial property owners is we have a app that people can find on the App Store if you are a Apple user, Android user, or if you still have a BlackBerry.
Really?
Yes, right.
They still offer that?
Yeah. So yeah, when we first came out with it, I remember it was like, and BlackBerry was like, oh wow, you can still get one of these if you got.
That takes me back.
I miss my BlackBerry.
Time warp, yeah.
Tell me you were in corporate America in the early 2000s without telling me you were in corporate America.
That's right.
Like, if
remember when you got
BlackBerry,
your first BlackBerry, you're like, I have arrived.
I was a freaking baller because I had a BlackBerry.
Yeah, you were.
You couldn't tell me nothing.
Yeah, I was mad when they took it away.
You could not tell me. When I had a freaking keyboard. Yes, it was. That was the baddest thing on the planet.
Sorry, we cut you off with the BlackBerry.
No, it's okay. I'm just trying to think of, maybe there's the one listener out there that still has their emergency ready plan from ServPro on their BlackBerry.
That guy might be out there.
I would love to hear from that guy if he's out there. That guy or girl that's
Message
out there.
us if you still have a BlackBerry, please.
Yeah,
please.
Let us know.
Yeah, and leave the tagline, sent from my BlackBerry, AT&T or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So that would be amazing. So emergency ready plan is 50 plus years of what could go wrong distilled down into a free app that you can use on your business. You can use it on a larger residential property.
Is that a ServPro app?
It's a ServPro app. So if you just search ServPro in the App Store, you're going to find it, and it's called Ready Plan. And so ERP. And you can, if you're a property, and let's say you just bought a brand new commercial property and are like, man, I need to probably do some preventative or do some preparation, be thinking about what could happen. It'll walk you through, and you can have that on your phone. And it basically helps you save time in the event of a disaster. And so just got done reading a book by Craig Rochelle, and it talked about the power of pre-making decisions. I forget what it's called, Decide. But anyways, the average human makes 35,000 decisions a day. I was like, how is that even possible? But the power of pre-making decisions, if it's already made, if I already know, this is what I'm eating for lunch tomorrow. This is what I'm wearing this shirt and pants for tomorrow. Like, decision fatigue is real. We all know by 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You're like, but so anyways, this is along those lines of, I've got a plan in place. If something happens, I can go, if I'm a facilities manager for, downtown Nashville Tower, I can go on vacation and realize that I've got 7 other people in my team that's got this app on their phone that shows them where's the sprinkler riser room for floors 2 through 8 in our building. And if the sprinklers go off on 5, these 7 people know how to get there. They know the 6 people that have keys to that locked door. Awesome. They walk into this room and they see 17 different valves, but there's one with an orange tag hanging on it that says ServPro. Turn it to the right 6 times and call Chad. If Chad doesn't answer, call on down the line.
How many people are calling you guys day to day that just did not prepare? Right?
Most.
To your point.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of the things that we deal with are preventable, but I don't know if I could put a number on it, but there's a lot of things that could be prevented.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's as simple as having that fire extinguisher, right, in the kitchen or whatever, right? Being prepared for that when it could happen. Right. Industry trends in your company and your business. Are you guys seeing, from a technology standpoint, are you seeing much change? Like, the down to the dryers that you guys use for water, right? Drying stuff out. What are you seeing there as far as industry trends? I'm sure you go to trade shows every year looking at that stuff.
We do. The biggest one is the convention that we have for ServPro. This year there was thousands and thousands of ServPro folks in downtown Nashville, right? Yeah. And so, the technology is at the forefront of what we're doing. There's a new CEO and a new team kind of emerging in Gallatin at HQ. And so technology is one of the driving forces, behind that group. And so we're excited about what that's going to mean, because what I hear when I hear them talk is I hear friction reduction in the process for my team and for the customer, which creates more repeat customers. Yes. And our job may be a little bit easier, which could also help in everything from shortening the overall duration of jobs to getting paid faster, all the different things that we deal with as ServPro owners. But so technology, in the day-to-day, just like in computers, our equipment, the bread and butter, the workhorses of what we do, with water damage being the majority of the work that we do, the most common type of damage that happens, water damage, air movers, dehumidifiers. We don't own fans because insurance doesn't pay for fans, but we own air movers and we own dehumidifiers. Okay. So
that usage and that technology is, it's going to stay the same, you think, for quite a while?
I don't anticipate it changing. And so you've got to create an environment that will evaporate the water from the salvageable materials and then collect it in the dehumidifier. And so it's, it takes a little bit of time, takes a few days to get it done, but I don't anticipate that changing. And so anyways, so
how can you move air, water faster, right? That's pretty much what will take place over the years.
Yeah, that'll be part of it. And so, but where I was going with that is the equipment is getting smaller and more efficient. And so that's helpful. Now, years ago it was me and some guys walking in carrying 2 air movers at a time that weighed about 24 pounds apiece. Now it's, Austin over here that's got a hand truck that's got 16 air movers on it at one time, rolling it into a high rise and taking it up an elevator. You think of how efficient that is, and it's friction reduction for my team as well. They love that because it's lighter. They can get their work done faster, and so if I can invest in those type things, then that helps with everything from the job experience, but also creates retention, because when they see everything from, if I'm reducing friction by buying smaller equipment and lighter equipment and more effective equipment. I think about things like when we do new vehicles and fleet vehicles, I always make sure that it's got remote start on the vehicle, because I want my project managers and everybody, when it's about 16 degrees outside and they're sitting there drinking their coffee and they're thinking, I got to go to work, and they hit that remote start, they go, my boss cares about me. Yeah, I want to get into a warm truck. So I'm trying to do that times a million so that I can keep those guys like Austin. And
is that what we're getting on our work truck?
I guess we gotta stay even par with Rob here. You gotta get the remote start.
It's gonna cost you $750 in adding remote start to your to your fleet.
How are the subwoofers in your truck?
Two
subwoofers,
212,
2 kicker 12
bass cannons.
All right. Yeah, excellent.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
cool. That's how we roll.
We're old school Gallatin kids, man. We have some bump in the trunk.
Yeah, you just take it over to Brian's Motorsports in Hendersonville.
That's right.
Brian,
he'll hook you up.
He'll hook
we got Dubs on a work van.
There you go. Yeah.
Good stuff. So the overall, where was I going? Oh, the ServPro. You guys inked a deal recently, I guess last year, with Tennessee Vols.
That's right.
Right?
Go Vols. That's
Go,
right.
Go Vols.
freaking Vols.
So is that exclusive with you guys in the Vols? I was curious on that. There's no other colleges that you guys have that deal with,
we're
or do
a
you?
part of a growing movement within ServPro, and so this all goes back to 2000 and maybe 10, 11. So in 03, they signed a deal with the Bunton Group. Jeffrey Bunton and their team have helped ServPro become a household name.
Yep.
That's what we're after. We're trying to be the Kleenex, the Xerox, and the Google of what we do.
You are.
It's not a, you know,
Yeah.
it's a Kleenex. That's a photocopy. That's a search
chapstick.
engine, right? So,
Yeah.
so we're trying to be the synonymous with the industry. So they have helped us to do that. Jeffrey Bunton Sr. just passed last weekend, so the icon of advertising in Nashville. Anyways, about 11 or 12, there was an Arizona Diamondbacks game, just random, middle of the season game, and some amazing over-the-shoulder Willie Mays style catch that the outfielder made. And somehow the announcer goes, "Well, that's like a ServPro catch, like it never even happened." And so everybody's heads spun off their neck in Gallatin, and they were like, "What's going on here?" And so from there, they started advertising with Best Damn Sports Show, period, on Fox.
Yeah.
And then we've arrived, ESPN, College Game Day, PGA Tour, LPGA Tour, Senior Tour. And then from there, what's happened is across the franchise network, people are working in their markets collaboratively with other franchises. So we're working with the group across the state of Tennessee, and we've inked a deal with the University of Tennessee. So we've worked with them to be a proud sponsor of the Vols. And so it's a dream come true for so many of us. Of course, Tori and Cody haven't played there. And
Yeah. Did they help? Did they play a part in that at all?
oh yeah,
Did
they helped with that. It was a dream come true when you hear Bob Kessling voicing the ServPro commercial and Bert Bertelkamp doing our commercial on the basketball.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, Corey and Cody were like, "Let me text Bob and see if I can get him to get our commercial done real fast so we can make sure and get it for the first game of the year last year." And so it was just
And text Peyton and see if Peyton will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was really. I went up to a game with them last year with Corey and Cody, and like walking around, they took us down to some areas that not everybody gets to go in, and just walking around, and they're just like hugging people and high-fiving all these people. I'm like, it's like I'm walking in this, in Muir Woods in San Francisco, these giants going, holy cow.
That's awesome.
But it was great. So the proud sponsor thing is amazing. This year we're excited because we added the digital ribbons in the game, like in between the lower and upper bowl. So for a decent portion of each game, you're going to see green banners at the 5th largest city in Tennessee on Saturdays, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So to have that in Neyland Stadium, come on.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, Rob, we appreciate you being here with us today.
Yes, sir.
At the end of every episode, we kind of do a rapid fire type question session. If it's okay, we'll hit you with a few questions.
Yeah, I've been preparing. Let's see how I do.
Have you?
These are fun.
Good.
These are my favorite.
Chad, you want to get us started?
Yeah, man.
Let's go, man.
This is my favorite part.
Do you need we're just going rapid fire, no commentary on each, right?
Yeah, you can. I mean, at will, however,
okay.
however you feel about it.
Freedom within a framework is what I feel like I have now.
Yep.
Great.
You're going on a road trip. Stop at the gas station. Go to snacks.
Wisps, cheese, the little baked cheese things.
Yeah.
Coke Zero.
Okay.
That's what.
Nothing
My
sweet?
favorite question is if you have $7 to spend at a gas station, what are you buying?
Now,
The friends from California are like 1 gallon of gas.
yeah. No, if you got $7 now, like
$7, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I'm probably just getting like
tough.
a bag of Wisps and that's it.
A Snickers.
Yeah. Maybe a bottle of water
Something
to
to
go
drink.
with that.
I'm a savory versus sweet. So
Okay.
Okay. I am too.
I know the answer's gonna be. I feel like I know the answer to this one, but I asked this one on the last show. Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan.
I like Rob.
And you
even
know
better.
he's going to be a
I
Jordan
know.
guy.
His home in Chicago sold yesterday.
Did it really?
Jordan
I didn't see
did.
that.
Sat empty for 12 years. Originally listed at $29 million. It sold for $14 million yesterday. So
Ooh,
I feel
so
like
he
it's a
took
deal.
half.
It seems like a deal.
I feel like a deal.
Well, he didn't have to sell it. I mean, he's making $100 million a year on his Jordans.
Listen, the dude for fun owns a NASCAR team.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Part owner in basketball.
Yeah, I mean, he's
got his hands on.
He's got it figured. He's got it figured out. I don't think that property was his biggest worry.
Yeah, he's not just like, oh, finally.
Yeah, finally. I can't believe I've got that burden.
Yeah,
off.
now I can go on vacation.
Yeah, yeah.
Beach or mountains, Rob?
Beach.
Beach. Okay.
You have to. I feel like we know the answer based off our last conversation. You can only have one sports team.
Good one.
Ever.
Tennessee Vols.
Yeah. That's my.
I was going to ask you Vols or Titans. So you're going Vols.
Man, I'm a season ticket holder, and yeah.
Maybe this year the
Vols.
Vols, right?
Yeah, this year the Vols for sure. Hopeless optimist when it comes to the Titans, but I think I've gone back to the default position of here we go again.
So let's elaborate.
You could do that on game by game too, right?
But no. So let's elaborate a little bit for people on this whole Titans thing, because I want to feel like I think all of us grew up without the Titans for the most part. So you had some other team that you liked. You maybe
Buffalo Bills because of Super Tecmo Bowl.
Okay, there you go.
I was a Buffalo Bills fan too. Jim Kelly.
Jim Kelly, Cornelius Bennett, Bruce Smith, Andre Reed. I was pretty good at Super Tecmo Bowl. Continue.
I was a Packers guy because I liked Brett Favre. Literally,
Packers guy because you graduated Gallatin High School too.
And yeah, well, I mean, I don't even think that it was more of a Brett Favre thing. But
yeah.
I look at the Titans roster right now, and I'm so sorry because I know Will Levis is watching this episode.
Yeah,
I am so cheering for him to do well, but I didn't see it. I never saw it when they drafted the guy. I never saw it. I felt like there were other options available. And I think what we have seen on the field the past 2 weeks is what we all fretted. It hurts me.
We've been longing for a quarterback in Nashville.
And I don't think it's like, I thought Tannehill was serviceable.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, it's like,
I agree.
I don't know.
We might have her backup in before we know it. We'll see.
This week could be really something to see Malik come back with the Packers. Is he going to start?
I think he might. So our Packers fan, Matt,
this is our Packers.
Here.
This is our Milwaukee.
There's talk that Love may play.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But there was also talk that they were going to pick up Tannehill.
It seems like
Or-
wow.
Yeah, that'd be the ultimate slap
I
in the
remember.
face.
Yeah, so
Because Tannehill could help Willis, or I don't know. Maybe
it seems like it certainly would be like you'd have a whole lot of eyeballs on it, and you could sell a lot of commercials if you had either Malik or Tannehill versus the Titans.
Yeah, you just brought them back in and beat them in their house with
Do a
their
Tannehill
rejects.
just to have a Packers jersey.
Yeah, beat them with their rejects. I don't know. I'm like, can you just call Carolina? I don't think Bryce Young's the problem in Carolina. Let's trade him straight up. I don't know.
Straight up.
Yeah, straight up. Trade Will Levis for Bryce Young.
Yeah. So my favorite player is Morgan Cox, and he is the long snapper. He's a Tennessee grad.
Yeah.
And he is, I think, one of the most seasoned, the oldest player in the NFL. And so it's because long snappers is if you don't mess up, you can do this for a long time because the rules changed because they can't just pound on you anymore when you snap the ball. Yeah. All you got to do is make sure it's a perfect long snap.
Who's he play for?
He's our long snapper.
Oh, okay.
So he's Morgan Cox. So I'm at a game last year. One of my friends within the ServPro network is Andrew and Katie Dobson. They own several franchises in Ohio.
Yeah.
Titans played the Browns. And then long story short, like imagine if Nissan came to the Adams family and was like, listen, or came to whoever and was like, listen, we're out on the stadium sponsorship deal. That's what happened in Ohio. And they were scrambling and they were like, what do we do? And through some type of communication, they found the Dobsons, they found Andrew, and they were like, do y'all want this at like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of what the market is? And they were like, we'll take it. And
that's awesome.
Everywhere in the Cleveland Stadium, if you watch the games, you're going to see ServPro, the entire thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was amazing. So I took my boys up there. We went to the Hall of Fame. It was amazing in Canton. We went to the game. They gave us these seats. They have these great seats because they're the premier sponsor for the entire Browns organization. It was like I was in a football heaven. It's like
That's
ServPro
awesome.
and, you know, and NFL. And so we're sitting there behind the team. Our team, the Titans got crushed by the Browns.
Yeah.
And my boys are sitting there, and we've had the experience of a lifetime. We got to go on the field and meet Amy Adams Strunk and meet all these different people and everything. We're sitting there, they're getting crushed, and my boys are just sitting there doing this number. This sucks, man. We're getting killed. And so, fourth quarter,
To be a kid.
Morgan Cox turns around and he kind of looks at our boys, and he's like, and he walks over to like one of the rolling carts or whatever. He grabs 2 game balls and he walks over in front of them. He goes, "Hey, you and you," and he flicked them both a game ball from the field. And like 1,000 Cleveland Browns fans around us just erupt and go nuts. And my boys are like, "I don't know what to do." And I was like, "This is not normal."
Yeah, it's not.
Don't get used to this.
So Morgan Cox, my favorite NFL player.
That's awesome.
That's
man.
awesome. Yeah, great story. I've got like 2 more rapid fires that I like to get.
Yeah, we've not been rapid on the phone.
No,
yeah.
but that's okay.
Okay.
That's what makes it fun. I
That's
don't know
good.
that rapid fire.
People can
meal.
listen to it. People can listen to it at 1.5 speed and
Speed
up.
us up.
That's
yeah.
it. That's it.
People probably need to speed me up anyway.
If you don't think you like your voice at 1,
Yeah.
1.5 is not.
Listen
gonna
to
be-
this East Tennessee, not like right
Chipmunk,
at
East Tennessee.
1.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite meal?
Breakfast.
What are we having?
We're having sausage. We're having eggs. We're having biscuits and gravy.
Okay. And then favorite restaurant? You only get one. Any restaurant.
Right now, currently, it's Eddie V's in
Okay.
Nashville.
There we go.
Eddie V's.
Eddie V's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gallatin or Nashville?
Gallatin.
That's right.
I had to end with that.
Yeah. G-Town, baby.
I was just curious because he's a Nashville native now. So
He's not a Nashville native. He just hangs out there.
Yeah. Well, he lives.
Yeah.
I love Nashville. Nashville's, amazing. The world is moving to Nashville, but, I got my roots and got
Something
my
about
start
Gallatin.
in Gallatin. Something about Gallatin.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
right.
thank you for being on the show
Yeah,
today,
Rob,
Rob. We
thank you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a
fun.
lot of fun. Thanks
Yeah.
for having me.
Yep. Please subscribe, follow us, be on the lookout for the next episode.
Yes. And if you do have a BlackBerry, please
mention
comment, take a photo.
Yeah.
We will buy your dinner and hang out with you because you're awesome.
Chad said that.
Yeah. There's
Hey,
gotta
we
be
get 1,000
somebody.
people comment about their Blackberries.
Yeah, I want. We need
That's on
carnal,
Chad.
Yeah,
That's on Chad.
carnal knowledge of the BlackBerry.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you.